We have to find real solutions, and this is Bending the Trend. Hello, and welcome back to Bending the Trend with your host, Norm Volsky. And today we are thrilled to be joined by Chloe Bright, who is the founder of Acumen Consultants.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, very, very excited to have you. So we'll jump right into it. Chloe, you're a benefits consultant
Yes.
and a PBM consultant by background. Which vendors have you implemented over the last handful of years, with clients that you would recommend to others because they've done such good work for you?
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, really, I try to go for vendors who have one main thing in common, and that's flexibility. Flexibility is so important,
Mhm.
especially, over the years with all of the new regulations, and the employer groups really starting to peek behind the curtain to see, like, oh, well, I really wanted this out of my PBM, and I wanted that out of this, wellness vendor. It's very important to me to make sure that I work with vendors that are flexible. At the top of my list, I'd have to say are the newer niche PBMs that are coming to the forefront here. Recently, I've worked with, for example, and I'm probably going to say RX a million times because everybody's got RX in the name, but at the top of my list are definitely USRX, APRO-RX, Disclosed RX. Well Life is doing some pretty cool things there too. And then there's just a handful of others, some of the newer niche PBMs. And I have to say that in addition to the flexibility, they really have a lot of good technology options in place for the members to have a better experience with their health care,
Mhm.
making them smarter shoppers, of course, for doctors and, pharmacies, finding better prescriptions. And I've really seen a turnaround in the not only quality of the service, but just the overall experience for the employers as well as the members with using PBM such as this. In addition to that, I'm a huge proponent for precision medicine.
Yep.
Pharmacogenomics, PGX, for short. The vendor that I work with is Cygenics, and they're the ones that really have an option or a tool that the employer groups can use that is making an impact not only on improving the health and well-being of their members, but seeing the huge savings in downstream claims, and reducing polypharmacy. We don't have patients that are on 5 or 6 or 7 different medications that are trying to fix the side effects from medication number one. Um,
Issue.
That reduction alone, and just the impact that it has on adverse drug events. I heard someone say before that the most expensive prescription is the one that sends you to the hospital. So being able to
Or
keep
the
people.
one that makes you feel so bad that you don't even take it, and then
Exactly,
your condition
exactly,
exacerbates.
exactly,
So if
exactly, right.
someone is not taking their drugs because how it makes them feel, that's one of the
Exactly.
biggest issues in healthcare.
Exactly, exactly. You're spot on. You're spot on. And that's why with a tool like precision medicine, where we're using the genetic data and the metabolism for each individual to make sure that those prescriptions are working correctly from the first prescription, that's really sending shockwaves through what those traditional cost containment pharmacy tools are, as opposed to the Cygenics tool that I've been working with recently. And my prospects and clients are really excited about the impacts on that. Aside from those guys, lastly, I'd have to say are the newer specialty pharmacies that are out there, such as Sendera. I've worked with mail orders like PlatRx, and there's an international pharmacy, IL Meds, that's really helping to rein in those costs of those higher cost prescriptions out there. And it's given employer groups a better chance to not only make better decisions on formulary, but also to be able to forecast their spending in the future, with implementing pharmacies such as that. So it's really making a difference in the pockets and the quality. Those two go hand in hand, for employer groups.
I love it. And for our viewers and listeners, Chloe is just extremely knowledgeable and niche within pharma consulting, pharmaceutical, PBM consulting. So, really, really helpful there. What were some of the results of some of these implementations
Yeah,
that caused you to say, hey, they're doing great work? Like, what's some of the
absolutely.
data behind it
For
and the
sure, for
result?
sure. Yeah, like with, some of the niche PBMs, we're just seeing differences, especially when we've got an employer group that's moving away from one of the big three or big four. Seeing a difference in just the spending has been, I mean, just tremendous.
What type of cost savings are we talking on pharmaceutical spend, pharmacies?
We're probably seeing anywhere from, like, 20%. In some cases, it can go a little bit higher. No, it really just depends, because it's so
That
different.
is
Um,
millions, if not tens of millions of dollars
Exactly.
in savings.
Exactly. Exactly. And when you think about it, sometimes, in pharmacy or in PBM, we think about like, oh, per member per month or per employee per month or per script. But really, when you look at like the end of the year or just comparing from apples to apples, what you were spending with a huge PBM as compared to like a niche PBM, it's really giving employers an opportunity to take those savings and reinvest them back into the company, reinvest them back into the employees. And it really opens up a whole new, well, several new windows, I would say, for success for the employer group. So it's really amazing what we're able to see there, just from that flexibility, being able to change something as simple as a specialty spend or something as simple as like, claims processing that doesn't cause huge disruption, doesn't cause a lot of time loss or anything like that. Cash like that can be resolved. So it's really amazing.
I love that. Very
Yeah.
good. And are there any solutions you wish existed that do not, that you
Yeah.
are hoping someone comes out with?
And I've been thinking about this. This is a really interesting question when you first posed it to me, a couple of weeks ago. And a couple of weeks ago, that solution made sense then. And then like the week after that, I needed something new. And then the following
Yeah,
week,
the
something
industry
else
changes
changed.
quickly.
It's such a a constantly evolving industry that we're in, and things change so quickly, from day to day. But I think that one thing that has remained constant that would be very helpful is if there was some sort of tool, and not like another point solution, not like another platform, but something that would make it easier for vendors to speak to each other and to be able to show employers return on investment instantly. And take, for example, like say if I've got an employer that implemented a new PBM and implemented a new PGX solution and got a new specialty pharmacy. Separately, all these organizations are great. They're all working fine. They're spot on paper. It looks good. Where we really see the impact that we need to see is how all of them are working together. So if
Yep.
there is a way to make sure, and this tool would have to be, of course, agnostic. If it was something that was created by one of these vendors, of course, there would be a,
Yeah.
interest, definitely. But if there was a way to see that, okay, after we implemented pharmacogenomics, the claims started going down, and the specialty pharmacy didn't have to fill these high cost medications. We were able to de-prescribe, so that we could see how each of these were working together and the overall impact it was having for the employer. So something like that, I think, would be very useful to make it easier to manage or easier to measure a return on investment.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's
Yeah.
almost what like the HIEs were for the EMR space, where
Exactly.
like EMRs that didn't talk to each
Right.
other, and it's
Exactly.
an interface that allows patient data to flow back and forth. It's almost like the same thing needs to exist in the
That's exactly.
employer-sponsored
Yeah,
arena.
that's exactly what I'm talking about. And of course the benefits teams, and we don't want something that's going to add more headache for them, of course. Some of these companies
Oh,
really, really small benefits departments, there might just be one HR director, and that's it. So if it was something as simple as, like I said, I'm not thinking like another app or anything like that. A lot of
yeah.
people complaining about app fatigue, if I'm not sure how simple it would be, but I'm sure there's somebody smart out there in the industry that already has this figured out and is just waiting to push go on it. But that would be very helpful for someone in my position.
I'm only kind of chuckling because you may see something soon on the
Really?
market that,
Okay.
addresses this issue. So
Good.
stay
Good.
tuned.
I'll be all for it. I'll be all for it. Can't wait.
Love it. Well, Chloe, thank you so much for joining us on
Yes.
the Bending the Trend podcast. Thanks for everything you're doing with your clients
Oh,
to
thank you.
bend their pharmacy trend.
Absolutely.
And for all of those out there listening, watching, there is a life beyond the big three
That's it.
PBMs. There are
Absolutely.
ways to provide better value to your employees and get more of those dollars back into their pockets and keeping their
Absolutely.
hard-earned money in their pockets and not in the
Absolutely.
healthcare system. So thank you
Absolutely.
so much for doing what you're doing, and keep us posted on the progress.
Will do. Will do. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Chloe. Thanks for watching Bending the Trend, where we are looking to fight rising healthcare costs. We are asking benefits leaders what digital health solutions they've implemented that has helped them bend the trend.